they don't have a strong quad IQ. Their trap continuums aren't polished. Their evader routes are often, you know, clumsy and curving. But them against each other, you know, we're often going to see speed and technique and skill on these obstacles win out. So hopefully we
Right.
see some good foot races, some good cuts to see who can come out on top for one of these new teams.
Yeah, and I mean, I think for some of these, we're probably making the assumption that they're a little bit newer, just from the way that the Benny Hills were running and some of the obstacle infamiliarity was coming through. Just getting your feet on the quad and getting those reps in is going to be a huge benefit to learning some new routes, learning some trap continuums that you had mentioned before, and really just getting more comfortable maneuvering around some of these tough obstacles. So let's
There
see
we
what
go.
Wildcats can bring to the table right here. Starts off over the top of the
Oh,
mountain, gets clipped by the ankle. No, it's not going to be a connection. So the beat goes
oh,
on. Somehow juked that one back as well. And I think your point is so poignant here, Amos. Wildcats with their first point of the day.
you know though, I gotta say this evader from Wildcats was actually making some pretty smart decisions with tripwires, even at the sisters there. So I think the story here is that when you don't have the pressure of a top-notch veteran chaser, you can get away with more. You can calm down. You can use that quad IQ. So without the pressure, we might actually see a lot of decisions here.
Okay, let's see if he can make it a 2. Juking back
Oh,
underneath the mountain. It was a pretty solid look, but Urban Gravity just being able to cut off at the center, that big reach out was enough to get there.
yeah, great start at the bay by Wildcats, but he was a sitting duck under the mountain, and he cut back at an inopportune time. The chaser took full advantage of that with that dive.
Okay, looks like I got a little bit of a freeze on my side. Okay, feed is coming back for me right now. Hopefully everything is good for those in the chat watching as well. The reach
Oh,
over from the tilted cube did connect right there. Wildcats, I mean, already looking way better.
yeah, this is a classic flush move. He does a nice little tap off. The evader just waited a little too long, and that's what put him in the trap. This is reminiscent of like 2020 style.
Let's see, chase for 1/4 of the way through our match right here between Urban Gravity and Wildcats. Wildcats with their first lead on the day right there. Love the slide through over towards the loading bay. We are slowing it down. A bit of deceptively low EQ right there. We didn't see a trap get set up quite yet. Tried to double back over the sisters as well, but just could not put the jets on. But we did see the green light come through. Wildcats jumping around, so I think that was a pretty undisputed earned point.
Yeah, it looks like Wildcats are up 2. Underbars, baseball slides, very reminiscent of 2020. That's actually when we all started out before Jared Ludy really showed us that speedball under the mountain. A lot of people were baseball sliding, and I remember just having wounds all over my legs from that. So it's quite nostalgic to see.
Time is an infinite loop
Oh,
sometimes. You
what?
see all the crazy moves come back. Trying to fake a Benny Hill right there, too. Jumping atop the
Oh,
ridge was a really open space, and it got you caught eventually. But once again, I say it, Wildcats is looking a lot more comfortable, man.
yeah, that was funny stuff. Benny Hilling around the mountain table area is just, that's crazy. Not sure if he's just in like full improvised mode or if he's taunting the other player, but that's pretty hilarious.
See if Urban Gravity can get one on the board right here. We are seeing the cube start once again. That does promote a pretty easy run around to at least the diagonal, so you just go to a foot race from there. Trying to Kong ball, go underneath, but you did not track your chaser. It was a good idea, but you got to keep your eyes on what's at your back.
Yeah, something spectators need to know about this sport is that things like that, where they could be a good idea, without the proper looks, good ideas can become bad ideas fast. And it is so difficult at full speed and navigating obstacles to keep your eye on your chasers. That is one of the craziest parts of the sport that gives me so much respect for all these athletes.
Wow, quick speed right there, just
Oh,
flushing straight out of the ridge before you could escape over to the mountain. That was really clean from the chaser at Urban Gravity.
it's those evader S routes that you see that often get the best of evaders. Notice how he curves in and then curves around. Oftentimes, that allows the chaser to cut the gap between you and the evader, and make that tag. So instead, evaders are looking for straight shots usually.
All right, here we go. Close bout between these two at halftime. Wildcats trying to shut this one down. Urban Gravity still looking for their first point of the day. There's a great little head juke over at the ridge. Once again, we're going to see a lot of space right here.
Could
Can
be the first
Wildcats
one.
navigate this obstacle? It's
Oh
going to be the
no!
cut through. This is a lot
Oh
of space.
no!
No, but you slowed down by the mountain. It was
Yes.
just in time. Urban Gravity finds their first point of the day as well.
Yes, some scary moments there for him. Namely, things like underbars, for example. I still haven't seen a single reason for that for an underbar in the sport. You notice it rips his chest back, and it's difficult to accelerate from that position. He somehow gets out of there and escapes from it.
Very, very nice. And just like that, we pass our halfway mark, and Urban Gravity is making this a contest. We go around the outside right there. Again, a little bit slow over the top of the ridge. Can he establish the trap? It looks like he was able to cut off the angle, but Urban Gravity just too fast right here, circling back towards the Lazy Boy instead. I think we're going to get a tie game here. Amos,
no.
he tried to commit to the run early, but it was just enough time. We're tied up 2-2.
Oh man, I thought it was going to be over when he chose open side when he was too late. Potentially just leaving himself as a sitting duck at the Lazy Boy. But his speed carries through. He squeezes out. He could be taking Urban Gravity in the lead if he has the stamina.
Yeah, and this was a big point that you brought up at the start of this match, Amos. I mean, especially if we're giving the context that maybe these teams don't have as much familiarity with the quad and these obstacles. Speed will reign supreme regardless. So we see once again, you put the jets on, you get a little bit of moment of respite right here over at the tilted cube, looking to fake the Benny Hill once again, but take that diagonal again because you have the legs for it.
Oh, no
Urban
way.
Gravity, just like that, has turned this match on its head with 3 evasions in a row.
Yeah, it's usually with newer teams, speed carries through. Reminds me of when we first started in 2020, Hollywood Freerunners. It just looked like their whole strategy was just run down game, just go fast, wait for mistakes. Later, when I joined Hollywood, I confirmed that in fact that was their strategy. They were just going as fast as they can, looking for mistakes, and that's what we're kind of seeing here. Oh, that's a nice juke.
Sooner or later, this guy's got to run out of gas, but it's not looking like it's any time soon. We're going to slow down over by the Lazy Boy right here. Hard committing to the outside, but it was a bit of a pushback off the sisters, which gives Wildcats a chance.
Yeah, great job from the chaser being patient, Lazy Boy. He didn't get sucked into the sisters run. He looked for that confirmation. He saw the speed of, maybe he tripped, it looks like a little bit, but he was also doing a good job of keeping his eye on his evader, and he saw the cutback, wasn't fooled.
Wow, this has turned into such a close and exciting match here, Amos. Wildcats got their first 2 points of the day here up against Urban Gravity, now facing down a point, looking to equalize right now. Let's see. Atop the mountain, does he escape over to the little cube? Oh, he just runs it right back, taking the slide all the way down, hanging out at the playground for a second, but that slap does come through. I don't know what kind of hand symbols were thrown out right there, but Urban Gravity, by the skin of their teeth, finds that one.
Yeah, this is not my favorite slide I've ever seen. Definitely looked playground-esque. But he was able to pull it off. Amazing job sneaking off the top of the mountain there. Good persistence by the chaser.
Here we go. This could be the nail in the coffin here, though, for Wildcats. If Urban Gravity can find one right here, we will be setting up match point. We're not going to get it. It was very close to a spike. So Wildcats do get a couple more shots to equalize now.
Yeah, he caught the evader on his heels, going too slow. He saw targets locked. He went for that slowdown. We often call that a way station, where the evader has to slow down, but the chaser doesn't. And he saw that arm just hanging out in the open.
Okay, do or die right here for Wildcats if they want to get their first dub on the day. Urban Gravity starting out fast right here. Does he set up the trap? No, a little bit too slow. Waiting for the jump in onto the tilted cube platform is real nice. Do we slow down by the ridge? It's going to be a foot race along the outside. I think that
This
might be
could be
enough
the
to catch,
time.
but this quadrupedal movement was lovely. Still running
Oh,
around the
no.
outside right here. I think they're going to find the equalizer. Amos, we might be going to sudden death.
Yeah, I gotta love the new teams going head to head. These guys are definitely working so hard for this win to show that they are the strongest new team. We've got a tie match. It looks like this is match point for Wildcats.
Okay, 2 evasions in a row from this Wildcats athlete will seal the deal after a back and forth seesaw of a match. Does it end right here, or are we going to go to sudden death? Our first one of the day. Here we go. All he needs is a tag to make this happen, but we're already halfway through.
Oh,
The slide
this
tries
could be
to
it.
come through, but he doesn't even want to play the trap
One
game.
more.
I
One
think
more.
we're getting an evasion right
Put
here,
on the
and
jet. There it
Wildcats
is.
has turned it around. A 4-3 victory over Urban Gravity.
He's got to be excited right now. He's also looks like he got a little bit of a limp and he's breathing heavy, but he's got to be excited. That was well done while tired, pulling off the match-winning point. Beautiful job by Wildcats.